I was away at a camp meeting when the news broke about Charlie Kirk, so as soon as I got back, I made a blog entry in regards to what I saw happening that day. You can check out my blog post here. That post is somewhat of an in-depth look at what happened to Charlie Kirk. And yes, there is a prophetic reason for all that happened, and will happen in the very near future. But as most will attest to, as my posts usually go, it's rather short due to how easily this was to explain to those with eyes that see. Still, I'm not going to share everything I saw that day in this video for obvious reasons. Suffice it to say, a brother in the faith summarized that blog entry quite effectively by sharing two simple points in regards to what happened to Charlie Kirk that day. When speaking of how I illustrated in my post regarding why Charlie is no longer with us, he said it's because he embraced the seventh-day Sabbath, exposing the false Sunday system. And number two, his influence on youth challenged Rome and politics, making him a target. And so now that a few more days have gone by since I posted that blog post, we can now see that what I shared in that post is not only exactly as I expected to see happening now, it's also much easier for students of end-time prophecy to see how the new religious fervor had to be cultivated in the USA. Still, keep watching, because what transpires next will be much worse in the coming days when it comes to what the church and state does. This religious tone in politics and in the media is going to be used more and more often with each passing day, and especially so when the narrative to enforce the mark begins. What they're doing with Charlie Kirk's death makes it even easier to see clearly how Rome was to bring to our society their long prophesied Catholic laws that the Bible clearly defines as the mark of the beast, and it happens first in the USA. I mean, the biblical fact is, every time the mark is mentioned in prophecy, the word worship is right there with it for a reason. It's gotta be a religious law. I mean, God doesn't place words in the Bible without having a valid reason for each and every one of them. The mark clearly is a religious law. And for those that don't believe it happens in the USA first, you might want to check this out. In order to cultivate a man-made, fabricated religious enthusiasm that allows the church and state to enforce the religious laws, the image of the beast in the USA must first be given its church and state power to do so, else they would not be able to speak and cause, as Revelation 13:15 puts it, which simply means to legislate and then enforce said laws. That long prophesied event happened on July 8th, 2025, just 2 months after the first and second beast stood on American soil. All the government-approved pastors can now speak from their pulpits so as to cause religious laws to be enforced now. And just so you know, 99% of all the pastors out there are now government-approved, since they have all signed the 501c3 contract with the U.S. government so as to avoid taxes. This was all prophesied. Then, and again, just 2 more short months later, all the powers that be realized they now need a valid catalyst that would allow an easy way to create a false religious fervor in the USA so as to make passing such laws acceptable to the citizens. That religious fervor is a must if Rome is ever going to be able to bring about the long prophesied religious laws in America that prophecy also says will be embraced by all Christians that unwittingly allowed their government-approved pastors to brainwash them towards another Jesus that's not found in Scripture. Since all Christians in America, and this includes the once blessed and once true Protestant, but now boldly apostate Seventh-day Adventist Church, who has not only agreed to embrace Roman Catholic doctrine in writing, just as Jesus prophesied they would in Matthew 20, verses 1-7, they also send their tithing to the Pope. Since all the Christians have already been indoctrinated with Roman Catholic dogma, what's needed for their mark to be enforced now is a graphic way to move all the Christians to see no problem seeking a religious format in American law, exactly as prophesied in 2 Corinthians 11, verse 3 and 4. I mean, the basic reality in all this is the leaders already agreed a catalyst is then needed that will bring on that religious fervor that moves a massive number of Christians to openly approve for religious laws in the United States of America. That catalyst came to be on September 10th, 2025, when Charlie Kirk perished before the eyes of many. Thank you for watching. God bless.